What everyone really wants to know about, though, do you have any read yet on if your vaccine is going to be effective against this new strain that we keep hearing about?
Well, we don't yet. Everybody's in the middle of testing other vaccines against that strain. What we do know is that our platform, we've used the same platform, a recombinant particle with an adjuvant that's worked very well against flu, which has many strains. And we've shown that our flu vaccine recently showed a very broad response against multiple strains. And so we're hoping that we have the same effect with COVID.
So phase 3, it's obviously a big deal to be starting. Can you update us then on your timeline?
Well, we can, and to be clear, this is our third efficacy trial we've started. We started a phase 2B trial in South Africa in 4,400 volunteers. In September, we started a phase 3 program in the UK, and we've completed dosing on that. And like all the other vaccines, you unblind when you have a certain number of cases. So we're waiting to get to that level in the UK, which will probably be early in the first quarter. And now in the US, when we started this trial, we'll be doing the same thing. We'll be accruing 30,000 volunteers, and we'll be watching for the number of cases. So we've got three ways to look at efficacy of our vaccine over the coming months.
Is it fair to compare the efficacy of a traditional vaccine, like from Novavax, as it is to the mRNA and their efficacy?
Well, I think it is. It's you measure. We're all measuring the same thing. We have globally, I think, fairly harmonized endpoints. In other words, what we're taking a look at the type of disease that we're trying to prevent, and so I think we can fairly consistently look across all the vaccines.
Do you expect like an efficacy of in the 90s? Like, is that something that we can realistically expect?
Well, we don't know until we know, and so. Based upon what we did in preclinical non-human primates and what we did in phase 1 trials, the immunogenicity data that we have demonstrated has been at or above the levels of the Moderna and Pfizer. So we expect similar results.
Do you have a good understanding yet of some of the side effects? Did they increase? Is it change versus age groups? I know you said they're blind, but do you have a read on that yet at all?
Well, what we have is a read on side effects from earlier studies and what we've been doing on phase 3 in the UK, and we have a benign, I guess you would call it, side effect profile. We always have with this with the adjuvant, which is the immune stimulant, and the antigen, the protein that we put in. We just finished, for instance, a phase 3 pivotal trial with influenza earlier this year with a very benign safety profile, and early studies with our COVID vaccine are the same.
You mentioned, you just compared the flu vaccine. You mentioned that earlier to my question as well about the new strain. If you had to go back and tweak things for the new strain, how quickly can you do that with a traditional vaccine?
Well, that's a good question. It will take time. I have to say I don't believe we'll have to tweak it. But if we did, it would take time, and you would do some comparability studies in animals and humans.
So do you feel, are you concerned at all? Do you think that would delay the time, delay the scale-up process? I know you think you don't have to tweak it, but I think we just want to understand, I think market participants want to understand kind of what the risk is of that new strain and how they need to think about it.
Yeah, so as I say, I think it's a low risk for our vaccine. It's a low risk that our vaccine will not work on the new strain. And if we had to take it, if we had to do it, we'd have to change the antigen somewhat and put it back into human studies for some period of time.
Okay, let's pretend like that doesn't happen and you're ready to scale up, everything goes well, first quarter results go well. What's the scale process going to be like for you guys at Novavax?
Yeah, so this is something that we've worked very hard on from the very beginning. We're doing something that's unprecedented. We're building scale in 8 different countries at commercial scale and all at the same time. And so we've done it in Europe, U.S., Asia, and India, and and all are going now. I think most of them are now making what's called GMP, which is clinical grade, used in humans material, and it's we've scaled the process. That's why we waited in the U.S. to start the phase 3 trial, is so that we can use a commercial scale process, and that process is the same process that we will use across the globe.
Where's the weak link in that? Yeah, is there one left?
Well, there isn't. We've just cleared that hurdle, and that's why we're starting these trials right now. I think we've got the scale at 2,000 liters, at 4,000 liters, and now at 6,000 liters, which produces millions and millions, tens of millions of doses in a very short period of time.
Well, I can appreciate that on a manufacturing level, you guys are ready to go. I'm also talking about a distribution level within governments, because surely you have to be having conversations with them.
Yes, well, the good news is this is governments are across the globe are getting the distribution system set up. We're a biotech company that does not have a global distribution system. What we do is we will be shipping our product to centralized country level distribution systems, and they will then take over that process.
Which countries is your vaccine going to go to?
Well, it's global. I mean, I think we're planning on we've partnered. We took a bit of a different strategy. We partnered with the world's largest vaccine company called Serum Institute in India. One form or another, and so they will take care of all of the middle and lower income countries of the world, and we'll use a distribution system in Europe and the U.S. That's already set up.
I see. Do you think that people are going to take the vaccine? What have you been hearing about in terms of the anti-vaxxers?
Well, that's always a concern, and I guess I'm not the world's expert on who will use it or not. I think if we show suitable safety profile, which we will, and efficacy levels, I think that people will be. I think they'll use the vaccine.
Oh, herd immunity. There's been a lot of conversation on how much we have to get to reach the herd immunity, when we get there. I know you're just a biotech company, but you have to have some kind of thought process on that.
Well, we in some respects, we listen to the same thing that you do, and listen to the world's global health experts, and everybody's looking to get 60 or 70% vaccination so that you do get the benefits of herd immunity.
What does Novavax do after this? I mean, it's been such a huge global effort to get a vaccine out. What's next for you guys? Well,
we have a platform. So we have one of the world's largest pipelines of respiratory vaccines. We've got an influenza vaccine, as I mentioned to you now for the third time in this talk, that we have pivotal phase 3 data on a new flu vaccine. We have an RSV vaccine that's been used in older adults and in pregnant women. We have this coronavirus vaccine. This is the third time we've made a coronavirus vaccine. So we have a platform of really important respiratory vaccines.